left channel, right channel, center.
VTuber 一問一答自己紹介
Yeah, and the tape's
それじゃあ
rolling.
行くよせーのお名前は
Katt Phloxworthy.
呼び方は
Just Cat is fine.
あなたは何系 VTuber?
Nerdy cat girl who features space
誕
flight.
生日は
May 4th.
年齢は
Older than Pneumatic.
性別は
Transgender
身
female.
長は
4'11".
出身は
Sacramento County.
チャームポイントは
Dialogue hair clip.
突然ですがモノマネどうぞ
Yeah, what's up, Dad?
活動場所は
Twitch, Twitter, YouTube.
はじめの挨拶
Thank you for joining me.
終わりの挨拶
Bye.
推しマークは
Not at present.
配信タグは
Cat-like feed.
ファンアートは
Cat pics.
ファンネームは
Cat's apprentices.
好きな色は
Iris Indigo.
好きなことは
Vintage computers and
得
video.
意なことは
Technology.
ここで一言愛の告白
I love you.
好きな食べ物は
Ethnic foods.
好きな飲み物は
Craft soda.
好きな漫画は
Pizza 10.
好きなアニメは
Planet.
好きなゲームは
Left 4 Dead 2.
好きな音楽は
Classic rock.
苦手なことは
Human stupidity.
尊敬するのは
Space fairy people.
叶えたい夢は
ISS crew
最後にみん
interview.
なに一言どう
Thanks
ぞ
so much for your support and a final status check.
Go Atlas.
Go Centaur.
Go Katt Phlox.
You have permission to launch.
3, 2, 1. RD-180 ignition. Booster ignition and liftoff of Atlas V and Centaur. Yep, still clean. Still nothing popped and blew up in my face. Well, something actually did do it, but that's neither here nor there. But anyway, it looks a lot better. I'll explain momentarily. And again, after about, an hour and a half. Hello, thank you for calling. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me. Yeah, it was actually a lot easier than I thought I could have. As it turns out, I could have actually done it while the stream was still hot. But anyway, one of the things I realized is, considering the fact that NDI is not only in the studio, which is where I usually watch the stream back locally, so I can at least give myself a basic idea of where I am when I'm talking to you guys. When I'm not playing a game. What I did was I decided, wait a minute. While the studio could, so can the encoder. So I turned on the output portion of the plugin, which sends it out the back of OBS Studio via the NDI output. Just like how the studio does, and only by way of NDI, when it's not doing Beam or the other one, which is Teleport. I decided to go ahead and connect the NDI monitor into the system, and sure enough, there it was. It was looking absolutely ragged. In fact, I can actually demonstrate it on stream right now. Need to go into the encoder first. Open that. The picture's going to go out for a moment, and likely so is the sound. There's an item in here called bandwidth. It's on highest. I'll set it to lowest. And actually, let's see. I'm going to take a look at that. Yep, it has actually done it in the stream. So let's go ahead and switch it back to highest. And beam. Well, no, NDI. And BAM is the word I was trying to say. There it is. It's actually working like it should now. And after making a few other changes, like I did with the previous machine, which had the Core i7 6700, it seems to be working a lot better. But ultimately, I still want to make a few card changes on all three machines in some way, shape, or form. Right now, I'm using GeForce GTX 1050s on the VTuber and Studio machines, and I'm still using the GeForce GTX 1650 on the encoder. But what I really want to do is I want to get something like either an RTX 4000 series or an RTX 5000 series. It doesn't have to be the absolute highest version. It just needs to fit in the slot. And on top of that, I also need to get a power supply that can handle the machine, the video card. I could probably get like either a 4060 or a 5050 or a 5060. It doesn't matter which. Both have one thing that the other card doesn't have, and actually two things. One is full support for HEVC, which this other card doesn't have. Apparently it uses the Volta encoding engine, even though it's a Turing chip. It uses the Volta encoder, which has an incomplete HEVC implementation. And of course, the other thing that's either in Ada Lovelace or Blackwell-based chips, those both have AV1. So I do plan to get something like that. I might even try grabbing an Intel Arc card just to see if it can do the same things that, say, NVIDIA can, especially multiple streams at once. Normally, there were constraints put on the number of streams on these cards, but especially with the new items that you can now do with Twitch, as well as the items that you need in order in OBS Studio to make actual use of it. They've since bumped up the limits from 3 to 8 simultaneous streams. If you have a Quadro, you're in even bigger luck. You can actually, depending on the card, you can have an unlimited number of streams as long as the silicon can handle it. And by the way, chips aren't made of silicon; they're made of smoke. And of course, that's why we talk about smoke tests. Basically, if you send something to the wrong voltage or the wrong direction, that's when you have what is called a smoke liberation event, where you let the magic smoke go away, and of course the chip stops working. So, anyway, looks like or sometimes if things are really catastrophically going catastrophically wrong, then you'll have what is also called a free light show. Basically, you have parts that are called LERs, light emitting resistors, or smoke emitting diodes, or SEDs, which of course is not exactly what you want, because both of those will spell the end of a piece of hardware. Whether or not you can repair it, it depends on the hardware. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But anyway, it looks like everything looks a lot better, and I will do more technical reviews. But like I said, I decided to make a few changes. One, of course, is to correct the problem to begin with, which wasn't in the NVIDIA encoding parameters in OBS Studio. It was actually in the NDI source parameters. Change it to the high bandwidth setting, and it works fine. And I did actually make some changes in the NVIDIA stuff. For one, I made sure I'm using an iframe every 2 seconds, and otherwise it's everything's just going to be if you have it set to the default 0, you only have one iframe, and you're pretty much screwed from that point on. And the other item is every other frame will, basically it inserts it is P frames, my apologies, every other frame. So everything looks like it's looking a lot better. The real test will happen when I actually go play a game, and I was looking at some of the stuff they were talking about of all the things you can do on your card if you're doing these. But the thing is, it assumes that you're playing your game and encoding your stream on the same card, which is not the case here. In fact, not only are they not on the same card, you could actually have a second card in there solely dedicated for encoding. if you have the space and the enough lanes for a PCI Express slot that may happen to be there, you in my case, I go so far as to put it on its own computer entirely. So if the game decides to go shit the bed, hey, the stream will still be up. It just takes a moment or so for me to restart the computer or the game or whatever. The only problem I would have in case the whole machine decides to, again, proverbially shit the bed, I will have to, I'd have to basically go to that's because I'd have to go to a technical difficulty slide on the encoder. I find it easier because in case something goes wrong and something gets spoken in the stream that I don't want to go out, or I don't want to see in a VOD without having to delete it, I do it that way. And on top of that, the big reason, of course, like I said, is my mic is on this computer. I'm actively considering moving it to one of the other machines in here, whether it's the studio or it's probably more than likely going to be a smaller machine like the machine up there, which has my 3 stream decks below me. So anyway, that's an idea for the future. And then, of course, I'll patch things through so I can play games on there and stuff like that. The latency is low enough, so I don't think it's going to be a problem. I'll have to do some experimentation both off and on stream and see how things look. But everything looks pretty much good here. So let me also do one other thing real quick so I can see what I'm doing here. I'm going to go ahead and end the stream right now. And because I got to get ready to go to bed in the morning. Got to take Rumi out first. And then after that, go immediately to work. And of course, hit the floor running the moment I get out of the car and at the building. And I'm going to have all of it overtime. And I'm going to need it because I got to renew soon. Anyway, thanks for keeping an eye on, if you happen to be watching this, thank you for watching. Even if you're not necessarily saying anything, I appreciate you watching it and just at least A, keeping me company, and B, maybe another pair of eyes. If you happen to see something, by all means, say something. And I still haven't forgotten everybody about the tips about the various software that I have, including OBS plugins, as well as the other software I've got on a computer behind me that actually serves ISOs via TFTP by way of after selecting one via menu. And I'll show that before you I'll give you links to all that before too long. But it's just that I've been so busy and been trying to diagnose this issue. Hopefully more information will come from Microsoft before too long. There's one option which is using the software that allows you to do access control. Unfortunately, I can never figure that out, and ultimately I find out you start the program before you start your NDI software. But anyway, it's at this point I've already ripped the affected updates out because I want to fucking stream. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night and get ready to go to sleep. As always, Slavu Ukraini, and I hope to see you before too long. Hopefully as soon as tomorrow. I just haven't figured out what I want to play or do tomorrow. So, again, I'm still trying to get myself into something more of a scheduled rhythm, if you will. And on top of that, trying to get more games to play. And I'd love to get more collabs as well. And if you happen to see this, all my contact information is below. I prefer either Twitter or X, if you will, or whatever you want to call that site. Now that a certain someone has acquired it and desperately wants it known to be known as X, get that, or Blue Sky. Those are that or my Discord. In case you happen to catch me on Discord, my name is Katt Phloxworthy, all one word. Give me a shout and we can set something up. But in any event, I wanted to at least make sure everything's working. I gotta go, and in the meantime, have a great one, and I will see you the next time I see you. Thank you so much for checking in, and I will see you next time. Bye.